Hello everyone, this is Luxury PL38. Today's video I would like to talk a little bit of the Rose Clear, the 21C that was out, and the color variations between the classic flat, because the Rose Clear 21C was actually released by Chanel for the classic flap and also the SLG, the vanity pouch. However, I noticed a little bit of color variations. Even though the code are the exact same, the color are exactly the same, and they're all in the caviar leather. However, because of the style of the classic flap, and as you can see, there is a concave design on the top bit, it showcased the color just a slight different from the vanity pouch. And also I just want to compare this color because I did receive a few requests to compare this with the last year's versions of the Rose Clear when Chanel releases for their 20p collections. So I'm going to do a comparison between the Rose Clear last year and the Rose Clear this year. And also there's a little bit of comparison between the Lilac, because some of you actually requested me to do a comparison between the Lilac color that was out for the Coco handle and the Rose Clear color, and also the Iridescent Pink, the 19S. So let's get into the actual video itself. As you can see, the lights are actually reflecting the Rose Clear color differently depending on the type or the style of the items. In this case, it is evenly spread out, and it does showcase the Rose Clear towards the pink a little bit more. Whereas in terms of the classic flap, as you can see, there are bumps and there are concave side over here, so it does reflect the color differently. However, the most significant differences are the threads. As you can see, the thread that Chanel uses, it pierces deeper into the leather on the classic flap, whereas on the vanity pouch itself you can clearly see the thread, so it does not go as deep into the leather, and because of that, this actually reflects the color Rose Clear towards us a little bit more towards the pink, and it showcases the pink variations very stunningly as compared to this. You can see it for yourself. The camera shows quite well the differences, and I do have this item listed on my Instagram account because I don't see the point of me having two Rose Clear, and I'm actually 100% is keeping the classic flap. I'm only letting the vanity pouch go because I hardly ever use a vanity pouch, and it was an impulse purchase when I got this, and I have not used it since. So if anyone's interested, it is available on my Instagram account. However, if it's not sold, I am more than happy to keep it. Because of the color variations, I actually prefer the color showcasing on the vanity pouch. It simply shows Rose Clear in the pink shade much more significant as compared to the classic flap. If you actually look at the two side by side on the camera, did you notice this looks pink as compared to this? That is what I meant about the color variations. There's no denying the vanity pouch is in pink. I can't actually see the lavender or the lilac or even the beige undertones of it. It is purely in pink, the Rose Clear. Whereas this one, on certain lighting, it showcased the beige a little bit, and if you look closer, it does showcase a little bit of lilac or lavender. It's amazing because they are both exactly the same color, Rose Clear, and they are both the same coat, and they're both made in caviar. But because of the structure of these two, one, it is more in a rectangular box case, and this is more towards a very different shape. It does comes in a concave top. It reflects the light differently. I'm just gonna show you if I put the lights on this side, because the light is coming out from the window. even though it does look very similar from here, as you can see, but this one actually showcases the blush pink a little bit differently. It is in a lighter tone of the pink. So no matter how I put the bags, it will still show the differences between the two of them. It is very, very subtle. It isn't a huge difference, but it is noticeable, especially with the thread itself. You can see the thread that Chanel uses on this. It does not go as deep as the classic flap. Bear in mind, the Vanity pouch is not, let me just show you. It is actually has an interior materials that is made of fabric, so that's the reasons why Chanel is not able to pierce the thread deeper into the ladder, because it will actually probably goes towards the interior lining. Whereas if you're talking about a classic flap, see how it has 2 layers of ladder on the flap itself. So because of that, it can go deeper into the ladder because there is an under ladder that is protecting the thread from going through. So I'm not sure if that makes sense, but definitely there is a slight variations between these versions and these versions of the rose clear because of the structure of the item that was implemented on. So moving on to the actual variations between the 20p collections that was released last year, and I did have it in the Chanel 19 back in the small size. This was actually the rose clear for the 20p1 collection that was released exactly a year ago, and this is the current rose clear in the 2021. See the color variations? I'm just going to show you in terms of them side by side. This is definitely towards the pink, a darker pink than this. And the rose clear for the 21C, it is a very, very light, kind of like a blush pink. And it is so light that there is a lavender. It shows a little bit of the lavender. I'm going to show you the... I'm just going to put this aside. I'm going to show you the lavender lilac. So it does have a very slight similarity between the lilac and the rose clear. On certain lighting, you can see a little bit of lavender or lilac undertone on this rose clear. And especially if you look at very close up, you can see a little bit of lilac on it. So this is the differences. They are both extremely unique, and I was so fortunate for my essay to actually got for me these two. And lastly, I just want to show you a little bit of the differences between the iridescent pink, and this is the 19S iridescent pink, and the rose clear. They're definitely very different pink. They're both pink, but this is of the iridescent effect, and this is because of the lighter tone of the rose clear color. It does actually shows a little bit towards the iridescent side, but it is very subtle, and a lot of us actually thought it looks somewhere between a beige and a rose clear, and also a little bit of lavender undertone. But bear in mind, the Chanel 19 rose clear was actually in the goat skin, whereas everything else is in caviar, so there is a good comparison directly. However, with the last year's seasons, it is difficult to do a comparison because of the type of leather that is very different that is used. And if you do have any questions or comments, please do so in the sections below, and I'll see if I can actually take a few pictures to showcase the differences a little bit easier. Just gonna show you the Lilac. There you go. Thank you so much for watching.